through what seems poised to be the last chapters of this battle. This morning, we got yet another major sign of hope. More data appear to confirm that the vaccine developed by Moderna is more than 94% effective. They're going ahead and asking the FDA for emergency use authorization. Experts are calling this news absolutely remarkable. Alongside other promising vaccine developments from Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, and others, is continued cause to suspect that victory over this pandemic is not far off. But a huge amount of work remains before us. If Operation Warp Speed remains on this historic trajectory, we need to continue investing in the system that will distribute these vaccines around our country. If we want the small businesses that have already hung on for most of the year to survive a few more months, we need a second round of the job-saving Paycheck Protection Program for the workers at the hardest hit establishments. Some major parts of the historic CARES Act have already run dry. Many others are set to expire at year's end. We Republicans have spent months trying to renew important help and provide even more. We tried to send more than $100 billion to help schools and welcome students and teachers safely to the classroom. We tried to implement common sense legal protections that universities and charities have been clamoring for. We've tried to pass all of this over and over again. But Speaker Pelosi and the Senate Democratic leader have blocked it. They've been very transparent about all this with their political strategies, laid it right out there. Speaker of the House spent the entire summer and the entire autumn literally gambling with the health and welfare of the American people. She gambled that if American families didn't get any more relief before the election, her party would expand its majority in the House and Democrats could continue demanding the right to remake all of society along far-left lines in exchange for passing any more COVID relief whatsoever. But their all-or-nothing obstruction backfired. Democrats did not pick up seats in the House, but instead appear to have lost seats. They have not gained any leverage. Instead, they have lost leverage. And in the meantime, with the coronavirus surging from coast to coast, the American people have gone entirely without any additional aid, even the least controversial, most bipartisan programs, because the Democrats say no. Here's a summary from one news outlet. Quote, Pelosi seems to have overplayed her hand as she held out for $2 trillion plus right up until the election. The results of the election, which saw Democrats lose seats in the House, appear to have significantly undercut her position. By now, it's abundantly clear to everyone that the Speaker will not be getting to fundamentally transform American society in a socialist direction in exchange for more bipartisan relief. The hostage-taking was never going to work. Now, there's only one remaining question for the Speaker and the Democratic leader, just one question. One question, Mr. President. Will they finally let Congress pass hundreds of billions of dollars of relief on all the subjects where we agree? Or will they continue to insist that either they get their entire ideological wish list or the American people get nothing at all? Even their fellow Democrats are increasingly seeing this as not a terribly difficult question to answer. For example, over the weekend, Professor Austin Goolsbee, who chaired the Council of Economic Advisors under President Obama, called on Democrats to finally play ball. Quote, here's what he said. There are a lot of people really hurting. I hope Congress can agree on something soon. If they have to accept half a loaf, then they have to accept half a loaf. Speaker Pelosi's number two, the House Democratic Majority Leader, feels the same way. Quote, I just hope that we can get agreement. It may not be everything that everybody wants, but at least some significant relief to people. Our distinguished colleague from Illinois, the Democratic whip, said the same thing, quote, get something done that is significant. Do what we can achieve now. Now. Here's a headline from Newsweek. Democrats urge Pelosi to accept smaller stimulus package to ensure relief by the end of the year. Even the Speaker's own Democratic members are now openly campaigning for our Republican approach. Here's one of the Democratic congressmen who nearly lost his re-election after Speaker Pelosi's stonewalling. Quote, we absolutely have to get something done. Mitch McConnell is talking about a bill we can actually pass. We should negotiate that to the finish. That's a House Democrat saying that the Senate Republican proposal is the template that can pass. Rank and file Democrats in both chambers are telling Speaker Pelosi and the Democratic leader to stop stonewalling and move forward with the approach Republicans have been urging for months. The American people need more help, and they need it right now. Right now. Democratic leaders have already burned through 3 months. 3 months. And they didn't even get the political results that their cynical strategy was supposed to deliver. So, Mr. President, let's hope our colleagues at the top of the Democratic Party can finally hear their own members and stop blocking the common sense, multi-hundred billion-dollar measures that Republicans have been ready to deliver for months. Now, Mr. President, I move to proceed to executive session to consider calendar number 761.
Questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion is agreed to. Clerk will report the nomination.
Nomination, Federal Reserve System, Christopher Waller of Minnesota to be a member of the Board of Governors.
I send a cloture motion to the desk.
The clerk will report the motion.
Cloture motion, we, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the nomination of Christopher Waller of Minnesota to be a member of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, signed by 17 senators.
I ask consent to read the names be waived.
Without objection.
I move to proceed to legislative session.
Questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion's agreed to.
I move to proceed to executive session to consider calendar number 842.
The questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion's agreed to. The clerk will report the nomination.
Nomination, the judiciary, Liam P. Hardy of Virginia to be a judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces.
I send a cloture motion to the desk.
Clerk will report the motion.
Cloture motion, we, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a close debate on the nomination of Liam P. Hardy of Virginia to be a judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces for the term of 15 years, signed by 17 senators.
I ask consent to read the names be waived.
Without objection.
I move to proceed to legislative session.
The questions on the motion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The motion's agreed to.
I suggest the absence of quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Alexander.